Mutations, they are basically the inheritable sudden changes in the genetic material. And we all know that the genetic material is mostly the DNA, that is polynucleotide sequence, or in case of viruses, it may be RNA, that is polyribonucleotide sequences. That means the unit of mutation that we had already talked about in the gene concept video, one of the definitions of gene as was given was muton, that is unit of mutation. And since mutation is the inheritable change in the nucleotide sequence, that means the unit of mutation, that is the smallest segment of a polynucleotide chain that may undergo inheritable sudden change, is a single nucleotide. So quite simple. What is mutation? But the types of mutations. This one single change in the nucleotide, it may lead to various types of mutations, because change in one of the nucleotide is the beginning. These changes, they may range from one nucleotide to the entire set of chromosome, or the entire chromosome, entire segment of chromosome. So in this video of ours, we'll understand the various types of mutations. There are various criteria on the basis of which we may classify the different types of mutations. These mutations, they may be classified on the basis of their size, or on the effect that they cause on the codons, and hence on the proteins that are formed on those nucleotide sequences. They may be classified on the basis of mutations which affect gene functions, or there may be mutations which have an effect on the DNA molecule itself. These mutations can also be classified on the basis of their origin. What is the source of that spontaneous or instant sudden change in the nucleotide sequence? Then what is the magnitude of the phenotypic effect that is generated as a result of that uh, change in the nucleotide sequence, the sudden change, because we know that it is basically this nucleotide sequence that via transcription forms messenger RNA, and that leads to the formation of proteins via translation, as we have already seen in the central dogma video. So these mutations, they can also be classified on the basis of direction. Direction means the a gene, it mutates, and then it may again get back to its original form via some other mutation. So we'll see all these types, or these mutations, they may be based on the type of cell in which they are taking place, because in any organism there are the somatic cells and the germ cells. So now let us deal with different types of mutations on the basis of this plethora of criteria. So starting with the classification that is based on the size of the mutation. Based on the size of the mutation, they may be the point mutation or the gross mutation, because this unit of mutation can be a single nucleotide. So if there is addition or deletion or alteration of a single mutation, single nucleotide in the given sequence, that will lead to the change in reading frame. Now, before we move forward, let us understand what is a reading frame. We have seen that the genetic nucleotides, they are present on the polynucleotide sequence or in the genetic material, and when they are translated, a set of three consecutive nucleotides, they code for a particular amino acid. Now, this is a reading frame. Reading frame means which is the first nucleotide of the triplet, because another reading frame may be this. So this will be another type of nucleotide. So depending upon which three nucleotides, consecutive nucleotides, they are being considered at the time of translation, these are the reading frames. So these this change in a single nucleotide sequence, it may lead to a change in the reading frame at the time of translation, and consecutively the protein that is formed, because we know the properties of the proteins, they are governed by the sequence of the amino acids that are present in its primary structure. Second type is the gross mutation, in which there is not the alteration of a single nucleotide. Instead, either a set of nucleotides, it is substituted, that is, it is replaced by another set of nucleotides, or they may be deleted. So now this nucleotide will be here, and the reading frame, it will be altered, or some other nucleotide, more than one nucleotides, they may insert themselves within these polynucleotide sequence, within the original sequence. So all these types of mutations, they may involve a single nucleotide or a set of nucleotide, a stretch of the genetic material. So in this manner, on the basis of size, the mutations, they may be the point mutation or the. Next is the classification of mutations based on the effect that they generate on the sequence of nucleotides or on the genetic code that is formed on this by this sequence of nucleotides, and the resulting change in the proteins that are produced. On this basis, the mutations, they may be the silent mutations, the nonsense mutations, or the missense mutation. Then they may be the neutral mutation and the frame shift mutations. So this is the normal DNA template that forms the messenger RNA, and the triplet code of this messenger RNA, it codes for a single amino acid. So the sequence of amino acid is determined by the sequence of nucleotides present on this DNA template that we are considering in order to understand this type of classification of mutations. So if a single nucleotide, this adenine, it is replaced by guanine, and we know that guanine, when it will form the messenger RNA on being transcribed, it will form cytosine. So instead of the first genetic codon of UUU, now this genetic code is this triplet code is for UUC. There is a change in this third nucleotide of this particular reading frame, and both these triplets, they code for the same amino acid. So the resulting protein that is produced, it does not change. There is no change in the sequence of amino acid, although one of the nucleotide, it has been substituted by another nucleotide. So this type of mutations, because of which there is no change in the amino acid sequence in the polypeptide, which are not expressed phenotypically, they are referred to as the silent mutation. Phenotypically means in the form of proteins. Over here I mean that. Another type is missense mutation. Now if replacement of another this nucleotide C, cytosine, this is the mutated template. So instead of AAG in the original template, this guanine is replaced by cytosine. And so there's a consecutive change in the messenger RNA transcript, but now this reading frame, it does not code for alanine. Instead, it codes for glycine. And this changes the sequence of amino acids, although there's a slight change, but there is a change. So this type of mutations, they are the missense mutations. Now if such a replacement of a single nucleotide, it leads to the generation of a stop codon. So what will happen is that this mutated messenger RNA, it will be translated only up to this point where it encounters this stop codon. So now this protein formed, it is incomplete. The translation process, it stops at this point when it encounters the stop codon. So this type of mutation that generates some stop codon in the messenger RNA, it is known as the nonsense mutation. If there is an insertion of a particular nucleotide within the uh, original DNA sequence, polynucleotide sequence, that will alter the reading frame of the downstream uh, nucleotides. So all these amino acids that will be formed in the polypeptide sequence, they will alter just by the addition of a single nucleotide in the original DNA template. So this type of mutation, it leads to shifting of the reading frame. So this, they are known as the frame shift insertion type of mutations. And similarly, if a single nucleotide is removed, in that case also, initially the codon that was being read was UAU and it was coding for tyrosine, and the other consecutive nucleotides, they were forming the other triplet codes. But because of the deletion of a single nucleotides, now this triplet, it is converted to UUG, and all the consecutive nucleotides, there's a shift in the reading frame, and the resulting shift in the or change in the amino acids produced. So this type of deletions that leads to the mm, shifting of the reading frame are known as the frame shift deletions. Now the mutations which affect the gene functions. Because of mutation, either there may be a gain of some function, that is the original wild type nucleotide sequence, they were responsible for a particular type of protein or for a particular type of functional protein. But when it gets mutated, we have seen that mutations, they may lead to change in the sequence of amino acids that are formed, and these, it is the sequence of amino acid that determines its structure and ultimately its function. So a mutation, it may lead to the formation of another type of gene sequence which may have some other type of function. So one type of function is being replaced by another type. The function, it is there, yet we are getting the functional proteins. So this type of mutation is the gain of function protein, gain of function mutation. And similarly, because of mutation, a particular gene may form non-functional proteins, like in case of your nonsense mutation, where the protein being synthesized is truncated. Its translation is stopped midway. So that leads to the formation of non-functional protein, and there's a loss of function. So this type of mutation is the null loss of function mutation. It may be that the mutation, it decreases the degree of function. It decrease, that is, the protein synthesized, it is yet performing the same function, but not to that appropriate level, not of that particular category or standard. So this type of mutations, they are the leaky loss of function mutations. Now we know that the polynucleotide sequence, it comprises basically of four types of nucleotides, that is adenine, guanine, thymine and cytosine. And these four nucleotides, or the building blocks of any nucleotide sequence, if they are replaced by each other, then what will happen? So next classification is on the basis of the effect that is produced on the DNA because of these particular mutations. So they may be the structural mutations. Structural mutations, they may be of three types. Either they may be the base substitution mutations, that is, one of the base is being replaced by another base, or they may be the deletion mutation or the insertion mutations. This deletion mutation or the insertion mutation, they may involve a single nucleotide, or they may involve a, a set of nucleotides or a small stretch of nucleotide sequence, as we have already seen in the previously in this very video. So deletion mutations and insertion mutations. Now, what are these base substitution mutations? These base substitution mutations means there's a change. Instead of thymine, the cytosine is incorporated. Although both of them, they are pyrimidines. So this type of change in which a pyrimidine is replaced by another pyrimidine, or adenine is replaced by guanine, that is, a purine is being replaced by purine, or vice versa. This type of mutations, they are known as the transitions. And if a pyrimidine is replaced by some purine, any of the two purines, like thymine is replaced by adenine or guanine, or cytosine is replaced by adenine or guanine, or some purine is replaced by pyrimidine, that is, adenine is replaced by thymine cytosine, or guanine is replaced by some thymine and cytosine, then this type of mutations, they are known as the transversion mutations. And another major category of mutation we study in another subheading itself, that is the chromosomal aberrations. In these mutations, large segments of chromosomes, they undergo deletion or insertion or translocation. Mm, So that is also the type of mutation based on the effect of DNA. So here we may say that these chromosomal aberrations, abnormalities in the structure of chromosome, they also leads to mutation. On the basis of the direction of mutation, they may be the forward mutation or the reverse or back mutation, or they may even be the suppressor mutation. If a mutation converts a wild type genotype into a mutant, then it is known as the forward mutation. And if another mutation, it converts this mutant, it reverts it back to its wild type form, then we call it as the reverse or the backward mutation. However, if a mutation, it partially or completely it restores the function of another uh, nucleotide sequence, then it is known as the suppressor mutant. Reverse mutants, they restore back the original nature of the particular stretch of nucleotide. And suppressor mutation, when they take place, they affect the or they restore the functioning of some other mutation which may have taken place in that particular gene itself, that means intragenic suppressor mutation, or in some other gene, that is mutation in one of the genes may restore the altered function of some other gene. That means intergenic suppressor mutation. It suppresses the effect of mutation at some other point within the genome, in the same gene or in some other gene. Or it may be a nonsense suppression. This is the case when a mutation, it leads to the it takes over the function, or it continues the translation process of some other gene. That is, because of this mutation, the stop codon, it is jumped over. So this type of mutation will be known as the nonsense suppression, because now the the effect of another nonsense mutation, it is being suppressed because of this mutation in some other part of this that particular gene or some other gene. Now, on the basis of the origin, that is, what is the source, why that inheritable sudden change in the nucleotide sequence that occurred. There may be three reasons or three uh, source of origin of mutation. One may be spontaneous in nature, on its own. There was no effect of any external physical or chemical agent in order to alter the nucleotide sequence. So that is the spontaneous mutation. If they are induced by means of certain chemical or physical agent, that is, they are intentional alterations, then they are known as induced mutations. And third category is the mutator mutants. Mutator mutations means that there are certain mutations which cause the mutation of some other segment of nucleotides. They may be specific mutator mutations pointed to a particular sequence of nucleotide, the mutations which results in the mutation of another specific sequence of nucleotides, or they may be non-specific. That is, if those mutations are there, they will mutate some or the other nucleotide sequence, then they are of the non-specific mutator mutation type. Now, based on the magnitude of the phenotypic effect that is produced by a certain type of mutation, these are the three types. By mutation rate, we mean with what frequency the alteration in the nucleotide sequence takes place. So there may be mutations which suppresses more of the mutations in that particular segment, or which induces further mutations. So they may result in the change in the mutation rate of that particular gene sequence. These mutations, they may lead to the formation of isoalleles. Now, isoalleles, they produce identical phenotypes when present in homozygous or heterozygous combination with one another. That is, one allele is there, it mutates to form another allele. And if these two alleles, they are present together, the phenotype produced will be of wild type. However, if this allele, the mutated allele, it pairs with some other allele, then the phenotype, it changes. So this type of mutations, this is it generates isoalleles. Now the mutants, they may have uh, obvious effects. They may affect the viability of the particular organism or the particular cell. They may be lethal. That is, once that mutation takes place, it results in the death of the affected organism, as we have seen in the while doing with the allelic gene interactions. Or they may be the semi-lethal mutations. Most of the population or the organisms that contain these particular type of mutations, they do not survive. That is, more than 90% alteration is there, so it reduces the mortality. It is not 100% of the organisms they end or they die, but most of them, it is lethal for them. So it is semi-lethal mutation. And subvital mutations, they result in relatively, when they result, it leads to uh, relatively greater viability than 10%, but not, they are not as vital or as viable as the wild population. That is, their viability, it reduces as compared to that in the wild population. Now, these mutations, if they take place in the somatic cells, they are present in that very particular organism. They are not carried over from one organism, one generation to another. Although these mutations, they are carried out from one cell to the cells that are produced by the mitotic division of that cell, but they are not carried from one generation to another. They are not carried in the gametes. So that type of mutation which are limited to that particular generation, because they are taking place in the somatic cells, they are referred to as the somatic mutation. While if these mutation, they take place at the time of gamete formation in the germ cells, they will be carried over to the next generation, because we know that it is these germ cells which fertilize, and it uh, starts the next generation. They are the seed for the formation of the organism of the next generation. So whether in somatic cells or in germ cells, based on that, these mutations, they may be the somatic mutation or the gametic mutation. So these were the different types of mutations on the basis of various criteria. In the next video, we will be talking about what is the molecular basis of this mutations. Why these mutations, they generate the particular effect, why they alter the effect that is produced by them.